102, take one. With overlap, action, please. Action, Brian, please.
He doesn't do anything?
No, it's a... Sorry, cut. Rolling. 102, take two.
Aha! The Criterion Collection has always been celebrated for its excellence. There is a 4K restoration of Citizen Kane released by that same collection. It draws primarily from the 35mm nitrate composite, fine grain master, and like the best films, it's black and white. So Orson Welles...
102, take three. Action, please.
Aha! The Criterion Collection has always been celebrated for its excellence. There is a 4K restoration of Citizen Kane, released by that same collection. It draws primarily from the 35mm nitrate composite.
Hello.
Oh, I thought you were saying hi to me. I was like, hi, Brian.
You're like, oh no, he's not talking to me.
Looking
That's
at the
so
camera.
sad.
So sad.
That's okay.
Hello.
Hi guys, this is Film Face.
Welcome to Film Face.
And today we're talking about Citizen Kane. Why are we talking about Citizen Kane?
Yeah, is this a new movie that just came out? Is this movie all the rage right now? What?
Maybe in like a particular film class.
Yeah.
And you know.
Why are we talking about this old film?
I don't know. Well, last time we were talking about what kind of films that we were gonna look at, and this is one of those things that came to mind because it's like a famous film that some people think it's the best film of all time.
True.
I really like it. I think it's a great film. You watched it for the first time.
I did. I'd never seen it before.
Yeah.
And if you watched the last Film Face review, you'll remember that Brian absolutely hated Hunters of Beavers so much.
I did.
I'm saying that if you watch this, you don't value your time. But that's okay.
We talked about seeing like a film person's film. Oh no, popcorn down. Talked about watching like a real
film. So let's talk about what it is, where it came from, and who's involved. Because like my whole angle into this was the guy.
Kane. Oh, I mean yes. Orson Welles.
That's part of it. Are we opening it up? Okay. All right.
Dun,
and then
dun,
and then
dun.
what? And then what? And then.
Dun 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 dun.
Dun, that's the guy.
Dun dun dun.
That's
Dun 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 dun.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, I see why people. This is very. You either love this or you hate it.
This is a very controversial box set.
I mean, I love it and I hate it all at the same time. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's. But look at how many photos they put in here. Pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
It spells his name.
Look at
Pretty
his
cool.
face.
Look
Here's
at
his face. His face.
Here's his prosthetics.
So when we were children, very small children, my dad was born in 1941, and so we were brought up with the old radio shows. And we'd go to sleep every night listening to Suspense and to Gunsmoke and to all those cool radio shows. And another thing we used to listen to all the time was the Mercury Theater on the Air, run by Mr. Orson Welles.
Yes.
And in particular, he did this thing where he did like a radio play of the War of the Worlds, which was awesome.
A bulletin is handed me. Martian cylinders are falling all over the country.
Result of the broadcast. Panic across America. Cars take to the hills in their thousands.
That got the attention of Hollywood, and they basically, which is crazy for the time, said, here, make whatever movie you want to make. And so he got all of his friends from the Mercury Theater Company that he helped start, and they made Citizen Kane.
Yes.
And
he
so-
was 25 years old, I think, at the time.
I think he was 26 when it came out.
Which is insane when you think about it. And he had full control over the production, which was unheard of, in Hollywood, even for big time names. So it totally kind of flew in the face of the typical film structure of the time, is
So-
my understanding.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we got Orson Welles is the director and he plays the main character. Joseph Cotton was
Jedediah.
Jedediah.
Jedediah Leland.
Everett Stone was Mr. Bernstein. So these are all people from the
From the film, yeah.
from the film and from the company. What was your first impression when you saw it? Like, tell me your first impression.
I really had no expectations going into this. Spoilers, by the way, if you haven't seen this 1941 film.
It's a
No! The whole conceit of the film is this man, Kane, Charles Foster Kane, dies, and he's like richer than God. Like, he has so much money. He's this big American personality. He dies, and his last dying words are Rosebud. And so the whole movie is just a reporter trying to figure out what that means, to get the scoop.
Faceless reporter.
Yes, a faceless reporter standing for the audience trying to figure out what Rosebud means. And that is the only thing that I knew about the movie going in. All I knew was that Rosebud is a spoilers. It's a so otherwise I didn't really know what to expect. And it surprised me a little bit. I thought it would be a lot slower. Excuse you. I thought it would be a lot slower. And
It does move at a clip.
it moves pretty fast, and it at times feels really frantic. I was talking to Davis about this earlier, but I described my experience of watching the movie and finishing it as it gave me anxiety in a way. You feel this tension throughout the whole movie as you're sort of grappling with the idea of the man and what he was known as and what he became in the public eye versus peeling back who the man actually was. And I enjoyed it. As I was watching it, I was thinking about the different movies that it no doubt inspired, and how, as we talked about earlier, this is a tale as old as time, essentially, about the tycoon, the rich person trying to find meaning in their life when they have all that they could buy with money.
There's this great moment early in the movie where, because we're talking about like, what's this movie about, right? And why does it still resonate? Why is it still interesting? And I actually have got a lot more out of the movie now than I did.
So you've seen this movie like 1,000,000 times.
I mean, maybe 1,000. Anyway, but there's this great line early in the movie where, because they were kind of like, well, why do you want to buy a newspaper? You could build. He's like, I've got no interest in gold mines and whatever else. It's like, I want to buy a newspaper. I think it'd be fun to run a newspaper. He's like, and he basically says, I think I would have been happier and been a better man if I hadn't had all this money.
If I hadn't been very rich, I might have been a really great man.
And so, like, that's the movie. That's
Yeah.
it. The whole thing is like him trying to recapture not only his lost childhood, but his lost love. The fact that he didn't have love, and so he feels like he almost has to force it from people. What was your favorite part of the movie? Like, what was the thing that stuck out to you the best?
The parakeet. No, famously it's like 2/3 of the way through the movie, there's a parakeet face and noise flashes out of nowhere.
It actually woke me up. Like, I actually
Legitimately, it did its purpose.
I was kind of starting to fall asleep a tiny bit because this was like midnight, and so yeah.
Yeah, and so the story goes that the reason that was put in is so that if anybody in the audience
Was
fell
falling asleep. Is that legit? Is that what they were doing?
I think it was legit.
That's
I don't know
amazing.
if it was Orson's idea or if it was the studio's idea, but that was the purpose. That was the intended purpose, which is pretty funny.
Master stroke.
I know, a master stroke. I really liked the frenzy of his like coming up into the newspaper business. And I thought that progression was really nice. This movie feels like it moves really quickly, and sometimes I think you lose bits and pieces, but I would also argue that it knows where to linger. Like the editing in this, there's a shot where he's discussing with his first wife. It's just a conversation between the two of them, like right after they're married, and it starts and it's really sweet. And then the camera like turns, and you can, as the viewer, you intuit that time has passed.
Yeah.
And they keep doing this, and it's just snippets of conversations between them growing more and more sour with
Yeah.
each other. They're becoming more estranged. Literally, the table gets bigger. Like they start at like a small table.
When they pull back and you see is like you couldn't get a more like stupid obvious metaphor of the distance between them.
There's some pretty obvious metaphors
Yeah.
because there's also there's another big long
Yeah.
like space metaphor. But I really liked that. I thought
Great montages in this movie.
Yes, the montages in this movie are great. I was telling Davis the dialogue writing also I really like in this movie, but I do think the characters feel lived in, and it feels like everybody in the cast really committed, and it felt realistic, and the delivery was great. I wonder if that's partially because of their experience in theater.
And radio.
Yeah, and radio, where they knew how to use their voices, how to use like their facial expressions really well.
Obviously, like, it's a different time, and so the style of acting is different. But Orson Welles was cool because he was always really grounded.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you watch movies from then, and like the acting is just it's very hammy.
Very hammy,
you know, and that's again, that's kind of the style. To me, like the main actor that seems like the most like stereotypical of the era is his second wife, because she has like the whiny voice.
Yeah.
Well, you told me your name, Mr. Kane, but I'm awful ignorant, but I guess you caught on to that.
The tonal shifts in this movie it's unintentionally perhaps really funny sometimes.
How so?
In the sense that like when Kane decides that it would be fun to run a newspaper, and so he starts it up. Thatcher, who's like his owner, like this stereotypical, like he sees these newspapers coming out and is like, slumlords defeated. Ooh, like he's very like, oh, that Kane. I was out here championing like liberty and rights, and that felt funny to me.
Is that really your idea of how to run a newspaper?
I don't know how to run a newspaper, Mr. Thatcher. I just try everything I can think of.
What was your favorite part of the movie?
I mean, like, again, like I always come back to this movie like for the technical stuff. Like, there's so many cool things that they do. So Greg Toland was the cinematographer, and it's like they had like a bunch of things they really liked, and they just used them together in the best possible way.
Yeah.
One day in the office, they said, there's a man called Toland waiting to see you. He said, I want to make you a picture. And I said, well, that's wonderful. Why? I don't know anything about movies. And he says, that's why I want to do it.
Like, the first thing was the deep focus. So deep focus is something where instead of using soft focus to direct the attention of the audience, you have the entire frame in crystal clear focus. So that means you're playing around with composition and contrast and light to direct where you want the audience to look. And you can present a much more cohesive picture, almost like a painting. And it's also very theatrical too. It's like you're on a stage. I mean, the famous example of this is the scene where his mother and father are signing him over to Thatcher, right? And
he's playing outside.
He's playing outside, and he's perfectly composed in the window. And so it's not just the deep focus, but that was cool. But they also were so incredibly intentional with the blocking and with the composition of the frame and of the people within the frame. It's really cool.
It is cool.
And you have to imagine that it was so hard to get exactly right.
Oh yeah.
Like, that was really, really cool. And then the chiaroscuro, which is the light and shadow. There's some really cool compositions where you have these beams of light coming in that are focusing the audience, and this incredible contrast that's just beautiful. And that was, pioneered before him. The deep focus was pioneered, before them, and they're using it with just like mastery of their craft. Like they really do really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so my favorite bits are probably like the on the nose compositions where clearly they've arranged the people in the frame to just like zoom your focus on one thing that shows how the character is feeling. Like you show Orson Welles walking towards a wall, and you suddenly realize, oh, that wall is really far away. And now he looks really, really small and isolated. These days, I don't feel like we see that kind of stuff a lot anymore. Like we're so literal. And so it's really cool to be reminded of like, okay, this is how you can use the framing to reveal something about how somebody feels.
Yeah.
And then their use of like low angle, same thing. You make these characters seem bigger than life. You make them seem menacing.
Yes.
One of my favorite moments of the use of low angle and use of lighting, Orson Welles is having a argument with his second wife, and he walks towards her, and his shadow just completely covers her, and all you can see are her eyes just looking
It was
up at him,
it was so
terrified.
scary, so scary.
It was great. He turned into a monster, and he like revealed himself in that moment, and that was so cool.
Yeah. You can definitely see why this is kind of the archetypal like film school movie, because you could every scene you could like choose a frame and then like dissect it and talk about like.
And you should if you like movies, this is a great one to watch again and again and again. And also, there's a lot of meta commentary stuff that's really interesting about it.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you talk about that for a little bit? Because you guys, we've done some research on this. So the movie is a reflection of like real people and real life.
Most famously, the script was at least partially based on the life of Hearst, who was a newspaper magnate, a media magnate.
Yeah.
What was his name? Rudolph?
William Randolph Hearst.
William
Randolph Hearst.
Exactly. Charles Foster Kane.
Kane.
Yeah, the three names.
Yeah.
But it was heavily. I hesitate to use the word inspired because if you look into it, some things are just kind of explicitly from Hearst's life.
He had a castle.
Yes.
He had a zoo.
He had an affair with a singer that he married.
There is no war in Cuba. Signed, Wheeler. Any answer?
Yes, dear Wheeler, you provide the prose poems. I'll provide the war.
So like the film would be like blacklisted from his publications and actually didn't get the widespread acclaim that we know it to have until later.
It was like 10 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, like until after the war, like that, until things actually, and so it was interesting.
But even if you look in like behind the scenes footage and interviews and things, people have talked about this, that the movie is just about Orson Welles just about as much as it is Hearst.
I believe that.
A lot of the movie is reflective of Welles' own struggles with where he ended up in life, where he directed his energy. And he was also known for being a little bit of an egomaniac, for wanting that control, for needing things to be just a certain way. That part's interesting too, because to a certain extent, I think filmmaking is always, any art is a reflection on some level of the artist.
Yeah,
or at least it should be.
Well, if it's honest.
If it's an honest work, and this is feels incredibly honest.
Yeah, it's really interesting how this mirrors his own internal desires, his desires to be good, his desires to make a difference, and also his own internal fears about the kind of man that you can become.
Yeah.
Because he made this when he was 25 years old.
Yeah.
And what else was he known for afterwards? I mean,
nothing to this extent.
I remember he did the voice in the Transformer movie.
What?
Yeah.
Which Transformers movie?
The movie of Transformers made in the 80s.
That's awesome.
He did a bunch of voice work.
Which makes sense. He has a great voice.
He made other movies that were very good.
In the Muppet Movie?
He was in the Muppet Movie.
Mr. Lord, forgive the interruption, but I'm here to audition.
Yes, audition, yes.
We've come over 2,000 miles to... oh, boy.
He was in the Muppet Movie for 2 seconds.
But he became famous for being himself.
Yes.
Not for his work.
Yeah.
He was famous because he was Orson Welles.
Yeah.
And because people were fascinated with him.
Yes.
And so, to me, this is the only thing that he made that really matters.
Yeah.
Outside of the War of the Worlds broadcast. Like those two things are it. When you look back at your life and you're like, what?
Oh yeah.
It's got to be horrible. And so I think he kind of knew, deep down what he was kind of getting into a little bit.
Exactly. I don't know if this is like bleeding a little too much into the look of the film, but as somebody who's never seen it and kind of expected this movie to not hold up visually, you know what I mean? Like to not look good. You know when you watch old movies and you like see maybe like old use of CGI or some like shot and you're like, ooh, that is not aged super well. I was really impressed by the way that they use like matte paintings.
I was just going to say, yeah.
It was cool.
Matte painting is this incredible art form. I was used a lot back then.
Yeah.
The way that they blended it was so cool.
It was really cool.
Because it wasn't just used for backgrounds. It was used for whole scenes.
Yes.
Like that shot where the second wife is doing the opera and they raise the camera.
Yeah.
And that's layers and layers of all these of physical pieces. And it's just seamless.
It looks really good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
But also, even if you're not into it for the technical side, it's just got some cool things to say. And it's very applicable. And it doesn't matter if you have a lot of money. If you define your life by your work like that, and just have that be the sole focus, this is also what the end is going to be like.
Well, it's no trick to make a lot of money. All you want is to make a lot of money.
Kane puts on this great show, especially in the beginning, where he has this whole sequence about like, I want to make this declaration of principles, and I want to like stand by this code, and I want to make sure that we are not biased, we're not swayed, but then ultimately tears up his own principles.
The Declaration of Principles was always a lie. From the beginning, it was always a lie, and they knew that because what did they do with the newspaper in the beginning? They turned it into a gossip rag.
That's true.
It didn't used to be like the whole guy was like the old guy. I forget the character's name, but he was like.
Yeah. The frazzled old man.
Yeah, the frazzled old man was like, "You're going to talk about what?
He was like, "This is a newspaper."
I know. And so you did make that change, and so the principles it was always a lie.
Yeah, because Kane recognized it's not about the principles, it's about getting people to read the paper.
Yep. To love him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was about them
to listen to what he had to say, to eventually influence
Hitler.
And the Spanish-American War and all these other things, and nearly getting into politics. It did seem very quaint for, I will say, his whole bid to be governor gets totally destroyed by this scandal that comes out. And I thought it was very charming, the idea that one little scandal, maybe I'm like.
He had an affair?
Yeah, he had one affair.
That's all we needed back then.
Yeah, exactly.
Simpler times. Actually, you know what would have happened if this movie was made today?
Tell me.
The reporter at the end would have just made something up. Like, we don't know what Rosebud is.
It was his third wife.
It was his third wife.
Exactly.
There was another mistress. He would have just made it up.
Exactly.
Like that's what would have been the twist.
Yeah.
That it was actually, a.
Brian, have you seen Wolf of Wall Street?
I was just going to bring this up.
So.
Hot Scorsese takes.
So yes, so I absolutely there's some good
parallels.
Some good parallels there for sure, and Leo's great, does a great job. I could not get through it.
No.
I could not finish it. I was bored.
You're trying to think about the modern day, what's the closest thing we have about someone who just goes crazy and then it all falls apart for them. And I was like, that's kind of the most recent one that we've seen.
It is. But the biggest difference I felt was that The Wolf of Wall Street, it does not feel at any point like they're trying to make you think that the main character is a good person.
Yep. On a daily basis, I consume enough drugs to sedate Manhattan, Long Island, and Queens for a month. But
Citizen Kane really goes out of its way to build empathy with the audience, even if it's in a lot of ways unearned, because that's kind of the character's whole story. Kane's whole life is trying to convince people that he's a good person.
Right.
And you see the humanness in him, whereas I feel like movies like Wolf of Wall Street just kind of focus on like the drugs, the sex, the money, the insanity, the going to prison.
The spectacle.
Yeah.
Yep.
And a lot of people hated Kane, and they talk about that. He was extremely divisive. I'm sure that was part of the goal of the movie, to show you the spectacle and then also show you the man. Right. The deeply, deeply flawed man.
I don't want to sound like an old man, but I am turning 40 this year.
Uh-oh.
So I have to
Officially old.
lead into it. The average person going to a movie, especially a big, expensive movie, is just not going to have the same amount of patience for digging deep into metaphor and what's beneath the level, beneath the surface. Yeah. And they just had a little more patience for it back then. And I feel like I do feel like that's been a degradation over time.
True.
And
there were 4 big releases, right? A year.
And also though, that's on the Wolf of Wall Street thing. It's a thing right now that the main character in movies, we focus on horrible people a lot.
Yeah.
The whole thing is here's a horrible person. How bad are they gonna get?
Does your girlfriend think you're a worthless loser? Good. Pick up the phone and start dialing. I want you to deal with your problems by becoming rich.
And I actually have a hard time with that. I do need a person with some goodness in him to root for him,
Like Superbad. Yeah. We saw the new Superman. I thought it was good.
I've not seen it yet.
It's good.
Yeah.
He is good to the extent that like a lot of, I guess there was discourse online that like this Superman's woke or like this Superman
He's a
is
simp.
too he's too soft.
How bloodthirsty Zack Snyder's like.
I love that that has become the standard now, and like that was a problem in the beginning, and I still don't like Zack Snyder's Superman because of that reason. Anyway, so what I would give this 4 out of 5 snooty film faces.
Okay, I wanted to ask this last time we did this. Are we doing multiple faces now? I thought it was just one face.
Are we just doing one face?
In the old style, you just did one face.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right, well, happy snooty film face. I don't know.
What is that? What is that? I was trying to think of like, I give this a Charles Foster Kane face. And I was like, what's the Charles Foster Kane face?
I can do it.
Let's talk about that. Can we talk about
the poster?
I'm like, you're running for governor, and this is the painting you chose?
it's awful.
You're doing yourself a horrible disservice.
Maybe that's the point. Maybe that was intentional, that they knew it looked bad.
But it looks like, but I'm like, it was that painting, which meant he stood for it. Like, and somebody did that. Somebody got paid to do that. So yeah, I give this one Charles Foster Kane face. But like happy, I guess.
I guess,
don't know. I really liked it. I don't know that it's a movie that I would like revisit all the time, but it is nice that it has so much visual interest for like replayability, which seems kind of silly because maybe that's not as big of a concern with movies. But
for the layperson who doesn't watch a lot of movies from this era, I think it's very approachable and it's very good, and it's got a lot of cool things to say. But that was fun. I enjoyed that. I have no idea what we're doing next.
Should we do a spooky Halloween film?
Ooh, actually, either a Halloween film or a family film, because you gotta really realize what my normal.
That's true. I am not a terribly resilient person when it comes to scary films. So it might be nice to do.
We already did. I said Zombulous. We already did Alien Zombulous. We already did Alien Romulus.
It's only a matter of time.
Right.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Before
Why not?
Alien Zombulous.
Yeah, that sounds great.
A zombie xenomorph.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. I don't know. I have no, because I do not have children. I really have no insight into the family movie landscape. And so it'd be interesting.
There's some good stuff. We'll figure it out.
Or something like cozy and.
Yeah. Especially as it starts to get a little bit colder outside. So.
Should people watch Citizen Kane?
Absolutely. 100%.
I think so. Yeah.
Maybe take it in bite-sized chunks, because it might be a bit much for some people. My wife definitely fell asleep. God bless her.
Yeah. But if you have like a couple hours to kill, and you're a fan of cool compositions, again, not even for film. Like if you're just an artist of any stripe.
Yeah, if you appreciate
art.
Yeah.
Then I do think it's not totally overrated.
Thanks.
Sorry. But yeah, somebody who hasn't seen it before, I thought it was a good time, and I keep thinking about it, frankly.
Yeah,
and
it sticks with you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate you being with us. Like, subscribe, etc. And don't forget to clean up your damn popcorn off the floor.
Brian, you gotta stop swearing. This is a family-friendly production, I think.
You almost have my haircut.
I know. We almost are matching.
I know. Yeah.
I need a beard. If I waited long enough, I think I could grow one.